Pardon the interruption, but I'm Mike Wilbon. Tony, a Chinese car company has filed a patent for an in-car toilet.
I'm Tony Kornheiser. Really? I just go in the cup holder.
Oh, stop. Just stop. If
Funny.
you can't
That's a good
use
line.
a cell phone, it's a great line. If you don't want people using a cell phone, they should be arrested for using a cell phone while driving. How about doing number 2 while driving? And I don't mean Jeter number 2. I mean the original number 2.
You don't mean the captain. You don't mean the captain.
I don't mean the
Welcome
captain.
to PTI, boys and girls. In today's episode, LeBron Moses' future. We remember Oscar Schmidt, and Mason Miller strikes out every batter he faces again. But we begin today with the 2 final play-in games to see who fills out the bracket in the actual NBA playoffs. We have Charlotte at Orlando in the East, Golden State at Phoenix in the West. Phoenix and Orlando had better regular season records than their opponents, and they are at home tonight. Wilbon, who should win these games?
Tony, if we look at the beginning of the season and the first third of it, when Orlando was supposed to be a team on the come with an overall number 1 pick and Franz Wagner and a really good coach and good staff. And the betting line, you like to quote Vegas, the betting line had Orlando in the top 6, not in the play-in. And so the fact that they just seem to, I don't know if they quit on their coach, nobody seems to know what's up with Orlando, but I'm taking Charlotte tonight, particularly because I believe someone will justify Rookie of the Year, Mr. Knipple, the vote that I just submitted for him about 2 hours ago. I believe Knipple, who went 0 for 6 from 3 in the last game, will have a huge night. I believe that it might be a little shaky for LaMelo Ball because he might get some boos and some people, if they're paying attention in Orlando, he may get some boos, but I think they'll overcome that and Knipple will have a big game. Golden State, Phoenix, I don't know what to tell you. I don't. Devin Booker is one of my, favorite players of the last 10 years. And I root for the Suns. But, Tone, I don't ever root against Steph Curry and Draymond Green. I just don't. I like to see them play more. Can they come up with that second effort, a back-to-back? Maybe it's beyond them. I hope they can, but I can't pick a winner in that game. But I got Charlotte advancing.
No. Okay. So you did half the question. I appreciate
I did
that.
half. I did half.
Who should win? According to the standings, Orlando should win and Phoenix should win.
Yes,
particularly Phoenix, which finished 8 games ahead of Golden State in the regular season. But there's always a but. Golden State won 3 of the 4 head-to-head, including 1 in Phoenix. Charlotte won 3 of the 4 head-to-head, including both in Orlando. And Charlotte closed 29-10, right? And Orlando closed 7-10. All right, now on the other side, Golden State had a worse close than Phoenix, but Phoenix's close was 6-11. That's hardly daunting. Like you, I am rooting for Golden State and Charlotte. I'm rooting for Golden State because of Steph Curry and Draymond Green and Steve Kerr, 3 people I find to be honorable men and champions. I look across at Orlando, I don't see that yet. I am rooting for Charlotte because they have not been in the real playoffs in 10 years. They're a forgotten team. When Michael Jordan sold that team, it was as if they had disappeared. So I'm rooting for them. I do think, Mike, that it's going to hinge on LaMelo Ball and his reaction to the after-the-fact flagrant 2. Will it affect the way he plays? Will he be so cautious that he's not who he normally is on the court? Or will he say, I'm going to go out and play harder than you have ever seen because I am beyond reproach? In either case, I think it's going to hinge on him. But we are both looking for the same teams.
We agree. It hinges on that. But Knipple's got to shoot it tonight, and I think he will. I think he responds with a big.
Well, he got benched in the last game. He got benched.
He did. He's got to respond differently than that. Backcourt.
Yeah.
Let's stay with the start of the NBA playoffs, which could herald the end of LeBron James's career. The Athletic reports that retirement is a very real option for LeBron this summer, even as the Lakers' success when healthy in March intrigued him. Sources say he doesn't care about a farewell tour. The impending free agent could also just change teams. The Lakers are first-round underdogs against Houston, Tone. Do you expect this to be LeBron's final playoff series?
Yeah, this is that season that we're in now with the end of the NBA and the end of the NHL before the playoffs, where these stories come up. We just talked about, will Alexander Ovechkin retire? And he said he didn't really want to retire. I'm trying to figure out, I'm sure these sources are great, I'm trying to figure out why on earth LeBron James would retire. He is still a great basketball player. In fact, his basketball metrics are probably better than Ovechkin's hockey metrics at the moment. And he is a free agent. He can go where he wants and do what he wants. He's going to have to take a lot less money to go where he wants, but he's got money. And he's got the ability to do this. I don't get this story in this sense. It seems to me LeBron still loves playing basketball. And he is a beloved figure who adds to his records every time he goes out there. And in recent weeks and months, as the Lakers got better, he took a secondary role behind Doncic and Reeves. He did that, and in the 3 games when they were out, then he was the old LeBron. He averaged 24 and 10 and shot 56% from the field. So, I don't see this. Maybe you do.
No, I don't, because he's too damn good. And he brilliantly figures out whatever it is, whether it's on the fly or night to night or week to week or month to month, what he needs to do with this group of guys. I don't like even hearing discussion of the end of LeBron or the end of Steph Curry. Stop. They're too great. As the playoff begins, the only person I want to see more than those two, I admit it, is Victor Wembanyama. This is like, to me, watching the beginning of Shaq or, something like that, the beginning of Kareem, and you saw that. I saw it too. And I don't like these stories like you. We have to talk about it, though, because it's out there. And by the way, Tone, LeBron has said he wakes up and feels old someday. And I know he's making fun of himself, poking fun at himself. And I get it. And he can do what he wants. If he wants to walk away at the top, fine. But my God, he's too good to walk away now.
He's 41 years old. But he is, like Tom Brady was, just better at that age than anybody else has ever been at that age. He's better at that age. Now, if his health problems, if the sciatica there's remission on the sciatica and it doesn't bother him again, then why should he play? Now, if the Lakers were to win a championship, sure, you walk like Elway. Of course you do. But they're not going to win the championship.
No,
so absent that, where is the urgency for him to retire? I don't get that. We move now to the passing of Hall of Fame Brazilian basketball star Oscar Schmidt at the age of 68. While he never played in the NBA, the 6'8" forward led Brazil to the 1987 Pan Am Games title by scoring 48 points to beat a United States team led by David Robinson and Danny Manning. He also appeared in 5 separate Olympics for his home country, averaging just over 42 a game in Seoul in 1988, and also leading the competition in scoring in 1992 and 1996. Wilbon, he is one of your all-time all-time players, and one of the most significant. Please explain why.
Tony, he's one of the seminal figures in basketball history. His upset, and you mentioned the 48-point game, in Indianapolis, 1987 in the Pan Am Games. I was there. You and I then went to the 88 Olympic Games where the United States lost there to the old Soviet Union, and we know that precipitated, that was direct line, straight line to college kids get out, pros, dream team, come on in. But the 87 game, team coached by Denny Crum. You mentioned Danny Manning and David Robinson. My God, those guys are overall #1 picks. Purvis Ellison, that's overall #1 picks. Oscar Schmidt took them down. At a time with a 3-point shot, no one shot from a logo. Steph Curry was like 4 years old if he was born. Oscar Schmidt did it. He's 6'8". The Nets had drafted him, and Oscar Schmidt said, rather than live in New Jersey, I'm going to stay on the beaches of Brazil and do what I do here. And he did it more brilliantly than anyone had seen at that time. And he led this upset in Indianapolis in the old Market Square Arena. It's one of the great games I've ever seen, and that led Jerry West and Jerry Colangelo and all Denny Crum and John Time. Everybody said, that's it. Pros, dream team, we need you.
So I remember that you were there when I found out that Oscar had died. And by the way, he is Oscar. He is one name.
He's Oscar.
Like
one
Kobe
name,
is
baby.
one name.
That's it.
He is Oscar. He's that big. Big. That's all around the world. I knew you were there. I knew you had covered this. What my remembrances of it were watching him shoot and going, wow, this guy shoots from anywhere. and he's
anywhere.
a really
No one
great
did that.
player.
No
but
one.
there were that Brazilian team had two brothers, the Souza brothers. One of them, I believe, became a medical doctor.
That's right,
And he
Marcel.
was also a great player. And
Yes.
I think it was Oscar's quote, but it might have been Marcel Souza's quote to describe the team, and it went like this. On this team, you either play the piano or you carry the piano. I played the piano. Everything was set up for those two guys. Everywhere on the court.
Yeah.
Find them, let them shoot, get out of their way. I remember
Tony,
that
as
very
you
well.
know, you and I then watched him in multiple Olympics, Oscar.
Yes.
And I went
Yeah.
to see him wherever he was. And through that, multiple Olympics, the Pan Am Games, he'd come to some NBA playoffs in the spring sometimes. I got to know him a little bit. He was a fascinating person. He and Marcel Souza, Dr. Marcel Souza. And they, Tony, Oscar begat all these Joker and SGA.
I agree.
I agree.
Yeah, you can date it back to him.
It goes direct line straight to Oscar,
can
man.
date You can date
Dirk.
back to him
Dirk.
the
Guarantee you
respect
Dirk knows
that
him.
the American public began to get and the American basketball insiders began to get for foreign players. It dates back to him. Let's take a break. Coming up, Shohei's Psy campaign is off to a strong start. It's time for toss-up. Two men enter, one man leaves, finishes the show, then spends the weekend trying to convince himself that the Harbortown tournament is right up there with the Masters. What's first?
Toss up more Psy-worthy start to the season. Shohei Ohtani or Mason Miller?
Okay, I got stats here. Mason Miller has not allowed an earned run in 9 1/3 innings so far. He has only allowed one hit. He already, Mike, has 6 saves. It's mid-April. He has 6 saves. He has faced 30 batters. He has struck out 23. That's amazing. He is Cy Young worthy. But relievers rarely get the Cy. Mike, only once in the last 33 years has a reliever gotten the Cy Young. Mariano Rivera did not get the Cy Young because starters get the Cy Young. Shohei Ohtani is a starter. He's 2-0. His ERA right now is 0.50. He's gone 18 innings, 1 earned, and 18 strikeouts. Do you remember a couple of years ago when he couldn't pitch because he was recovering from Tommy John? And so he said, I'll just hit home runs and steal bases. And he went 54 and 59, which nobody had ever done in that sort of connection. Well, this year, it appears that he's going after a Cy Young. And if he continues like this, he's going to win it. And Mason Miller is going to stand up there and applaud him. He is.
Tony, there's no argument against Mason Miller. And the argument for him is that hitters in their last 29 at-bats are 1 for 29. You mentioned the 23 strikeouts. Come on, this is insane. And relievers are harder to find. There's some franchises that would have won, 3 or 4 World Series in the last 30 years, Chicago Cubs, but they could never find a Mason Miller. Just couldn't do it. But
can I just ask you one question? Just a small interruption here.
What's that?
Relievers are harder to find than starting pitchers who you say don't even start anymore. That you go on. And a starting pitcher who hit 50 home runs?
Yeah, but here's the deal. Starters, you can't. It's not about finding them. Managers and clubs with their stupid statistics, their deathly stats, their metrics will not let these people start and stay in the game a third time through the rotation. You know that's true. I believe there are starters out there. Jeff Passan told us this the other day. There are people who can start and finish games. They don't let them. But what Shohei is doing is beyond all of that.
It is.
Look,
It
you talk
is.
about a 5-tool player.
It is.
He only needs 2 tools, hit and pitch. And only 2 dudes have done that in the history of baseball, Ruth and Shohei. And right now, Shohei's doing it, and he's starting and he's hitting later in his career. The Ruth pitched and hit into his career.
That's right.
It's Shohei.
Yes.
It's Shohei.
Yes.
It is.
He's leaving everybody in the dust, including George Herman. What's next?
That's right.
Toss up more impressive accomplishment last night. Connor McDavid or Macklin Celebrini?
Once again, to statistics, McDavid had 4 assists last night, gave him 90 assists on the season. Got 138 points for the season. That leads the NHL, right? He's now got 6 scoring titles. This ties him with Mario Lemieux and Gordie Howe, but they are all 3 behind Wayne Gretzky, which you would expect. Celebrini last night. Oh, by the way, McDavid is not even 30 years old yet, so we're going to see this for a while. Celebrini last night had 1 goal and 2 assists to give him 115 points. That is the most points ever by a San Jose Shark. More importantly, he also got his 70th assist last night, meaning that he and Wayne Gretzky are the only 2 teenagers ever in the history of the NHL to have at least 40 goals and at least 70 assists. So we have McDavid behind Wayne Gretzky, and we have Celebrini even with Wayne Gretzky, but Celebrini has 20 less assists than McDavid, and that's why they call it toss-up, and I don't have an answer.
Yeah, we may both push. I was ready to argue McDavid until you get to the part where a dude is with Gretzky, and they were both 19 years old. You're with Wayne. That's like being with Wilt. That's like when we say, Wembanyama's done so-and-so and so-and-so, and now he joins Wilt. That's the end of the sentence. Go to the next page. And so this is the case, I'm afraid, with Celebrini. And by the way, I'm going to go off book now because we agree here. We both push, which is an all-time PTI low mark. We agree and we both push.
That's
now
right.
I'm going to go off book for a second. You hate tanking. And here's why I hate that the Blackhawks did not tank last year. A couple of more losses late in the season, and we would have added Celebrini to Bedard. 2 kids who grew up playing against each other in Western Canada, in Vancouver. Come on now. We should have tanked. I would fire somebody for winning games if I could. I want Celebrini, and I can't have him.
That's it.
You're wrong.
That's it. You're
Tanking
looking at the
is
winner
good.
right here. Have Gary Bettman take your phone call.
Tank.
Let's take one last break. Still to come, a huge deal.